Hello. Anyone who may find this interesting, my name is Nate. I go to Towson University. I had a stroke when I was 13. I'm 18 now, just for frame of reference. So my stroke story began March 19th, 2012. It was a Monday. I woke up, got dressed, had Cocoa Puffs for breakfast, just normally. And then fourth period was gym class. Towards the end of class, I got a splitting headache, just for no apparent reason. But I kept on running around the track, and then a few minutes later, we were called in to go inside and change and whatnot. And so I was on the part of the track that's furthest away from the school, and so I was running back across the track, and I kind of like stumbled a little bit, and my right side wasn't all there. Yeah, it was a little bit weird. And then I just kept on running, and then I fell down. I couldn't talk. I was just poking my arm, and I remember all these people crowding around me as I was looking up at the sky. And yeah. So after the gym teacher, I guess, diagnosed me as like something serious, he called the ambulance 911 and the nurse. And so then I got rolled in to the nurse's office on a wheelchair. I was laying down. I remember all these people coming to like check and see if I was okay and everything, which I wasn't, but whatever. Like the principal, assistant principal, I think said gym teacher came in at one point. And then the ambulance came. I remember being inside the ambulance, and them having to tear open my shirt, which we had just gotten new shirts, so I was like, and I remember them telling me I was like fighting the IV, kind of. So then fast forward, because I don't remember, to the hospital. I was hooked up to a bunch of stuff. My mom, stepdad, and dad came in. They just looked pretty bewildered at whatever was going on, and so I flashed them a thumbs up just to let them know I was okay, and I puked. Now, my puke was brown colored since I had had Cocoa Puffs for breakfast. And then I don't really remember the next few days or something. I might do a video on that once my mom just refreshes my memory on whatever happened. I can give you a few things. Once I had gotten flown to the Washington, D.C. hospital, I live in Rockville, Maryland. They did an MRI on me, a few MRIs, I don't know, a couple tests, and then I was good to go. Good to go meaning like going to sleep, as that's like one of the most important things that can be done at that point, is go to sleep. So up until this point, we didn't know what I had, and so it was told to me that I'd had a stroke, but I didn't have like kind of like a normal stroke, normal meaning ischemic, transient ischemic, and hemorrhagic. I had something different. It's kind of like an ischemic stroke, but without the blood clot. So an ischemic stroke is when a blood clot enters your brain, not nerves, what's the word? Artery. Your brain artery, and blocks it, and then that blocks oxygen to your brain, and you have a stroke. So what had happened to me was my blood vessel or artery had shrunken down, um, and that caused me to have a stroke. Now, that is not one of the different types of strokes you can have, so I guess I'm an anomaly. Um, okay, where we left off was my stroke was not normal. Okay, so I'm doing this in kind of segments, so I can like grab my memories and so I can tell them to you. Um, so I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I'm told that's a long time. I don't know if it is. Uh, One thing I noticed was they had you in physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy very quickly. So probably like the second or third day, I was in occupational therapy and physical therapy and speech language therapy. Then that went along fine. I was going back to my normal things. This is probably a great thing to tell you. So after I had my stroke, the few days following that, which I don't remember, I was back to normal, meaning I could use my right side like fully and everything. And then I was progressively getting worse and worse and worse until I could no longer move anything on my right side. And this was because the doctor told me that it's kind of like the aftershock to an earthquake. Or I think aftershock, is that right? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it was pretty mundane. Then after I was at the hospital, I moved to the National Rehabilitation Hospital, NRH, right across the street. And I was an inpatient for a month. And basically it was more of the same stuff, just in a more relaxed setting. So I wasn't like hooked up to a bunch of wires all the time, and I could shower. And yeah, I got to go home on the weekends, and since this was around springtime, everything looked really green when I got back to my house. It was just kind of jarring to think that it was always this green, but you never really notice it until you're in an all-white room for most days. My phone just slipped out of my hand. So that's pretty much it for my stroke story. The rest is therapy, and that was fairly mundane. Just going to therapy every day, and getting better. I'm still not completely better, like 100% better, and I don't know if I ever will be 100% better, but I roll with the punches, if you will. I roll with the punches. And that's what I believe everyone should do. So, goodbye for now. I probably will do another video on something else. This is the start of an educational YouTube channel. Yeah, see ya.